Lila Carter's heart jackhammers as she steps onto the 42nd floor rooftop, the New York skyline sprawling like a dream she can't quite grasp. The air smells of fresh coffee and city dust, the kind that sticks to your skin after a long day. She's 28, a graphic designer with a knack for turning chaos into art, but right now her world feels like a sketch gone wrong. Maya Torres, her boss, stands by the railing, her silhouette sharp against the dawn's golden haze. At 35, Maya's the kind of woman who commands a room. CEO of a tech startup, all sleek blazers and unapologetic swagger. She's openly gay, fiercely proud, and Lila's been spiraling for months, unable to shake the pull of her. Why her? Why now? The problem? Lila's not even sure she's into women. She's spent her life dodging labels, dating guys who never stuck, and convincing herself she's just admiring Maya's confidence. But the late-night work sessions, the way Maya's laugh cuts through the office hum, the brush of her hand when passing a tablet, it's unraveling Lila. She sighs, her breath a soft puff in the cool air, and clutches her sketchpad like a shield. Today's the company pitch, a make-or-break moment for their app launch, and Lila's designs are the centerpiece. But all she can think about is Maya's gaze, those dark eyes that seem to see right through her. Lila, you good? Maya's voice is low, smooth like the jazz spilling from a distant window. She turns, her blazer catching the light, and Lila's stomach flips. Yeah, just nervous. Lila lies, her sneakers scuffing the rooftop's concrete. The city's waking up, horns blare faintly, a pigeon flaps nearby, and the scent of pretzels drifts from a street cart below. Maya steps closer, her boots clicking softly. You're brilliant, you know that? Those designs, they're gonna kill it. Her smile is warm, but there's a flicker of something else. Something that makes Lila's pulse race. Thanks, Lila mumbles, her cheeks burning. She wants to say more, to ask why Maya's kindness feels like a spotlight she can't escape. But the words stick, heavy as the humidity creeping into the morning. The tension's not just in her head. The office buzzes with whispers. Lila's the golden girl, the one Maya handpicked for this project. Some call it favoritism. Others smirk, assuming more. Lila hates it. She's worked too hard to be reduced to gossip. But Maya's different. She doesn't care about the rumors. She's out, proud and untouchable. Her identity a badge she wears with every tailored suit. Lila envies that certainty, that freedom. She's spent her life in the gray, dodging questions about who she is, what she wants. Lila, Maya says, softer now, her hand grazing Lila's arm. The touch is brief but electric, like a spark in a storm. You don't have to be perfect. Just be you. Lila's throat tightens. Be me? Who the hell is that? She wants to scream it, to spill the confusion that's been clawing at her since the first time Maya called her brilliant, and meant it. Instead, she nods, her fingers tightening around her sketchpad. The pitch is in 2 hours and she's not ready. Not for the presentation, not for the way Maya's looking at her, not for the truth she's afraid to face. The rooftop door swings open, and a junior dev pokes his head out. Maya, they need you downstairs. Investors are early. Maya sighs, a low, frustrated sound, and glances at Lila. We'll talk later, okay? You've got this. Lila watches her go. The click of Maya's boots fading into the hum of the city. She's alone now, the skyline stretching endless before her, and the weight of her feelings presses harder. She's not just nervous about the pitch. She's terrified of what it means to want someone like Maya. Someone who's everything she's not, sure, bold, unafraid. She sinks onto the bench, the carved words catching her eye. Love dares to defy the odds. Her fingers trace the letters, rough under her skin, and she wonders if she's brave enough to do the same. The morning drags on, and the office is a whirlwind of prep. Lila's designs, a sleek interface for an app that connects freelancers with gigs, are projected on the conference room screen. Her hands shake as she adjusts the slides, the clicker slippery with sweat. Maya's across the room, charming the investors with her easy laugh and sharp wit. Lila catches snippets. Game changer. User-focused. Lila's vision. Every mention of her name feels like a spotlight, and she's not sure if she wants to bask in it or hide. The pitch goes well, too well. The investors are sold, clapping like they've just seen a Broadway show. Maya beams, her eyes finding Lila's in the crowd. Told you, she mouths, and Lila's heart does that stupid flip again. But the high doesn't last. At the post-pitch happy hour, the team spills into a dive bar. All neon lights and sticky floors. The jukebox blares Springsteen, and Lila's nursing a beer, trying to blend into the background. Maya's at the bar, laughing with a coworker, her hand resting casually on their shoulder. Lila's chest tightens, a pang she can't name. Jealousy? Longing? She downs her beer, the bitter fizz doing nothing to settle her. Lila, come join us, Maya calls, waving her over. Her voice cuts through the bar's din, warm and inviting. Lila hesitates, her boots glued to the floor. She's not ready to face Maya up close, not with the way her thoughts keep spiraling. I'm good, she says, forcing a smile. But Maya's already crossing the room, her presence like a magnet. You're not escaping me that easily, Maya teases, leaning against the table. Her perfume, something spicy like cardamom, hits Lila like a wave. What's up? You've been quiet all night. Lila shrugs, her fingers peeling the label off her bottle. Just tired. Maya's eyes narrow, like she's reading a script Lila hasn't written yet. Bullshit, she says softly, but there's no edge to it. Talk to me. Lila's breath catches. The bar's too loud, the air too thick. She wants to tell Maya everything. How she can't stop thinking about her. How she's terrified of what it means. How she's never felt this way about anyone. But the words won't come. Instead she mutters, "It's nothing. I'm fine." Maya doesn't push, but her hand rests on Lila's for a moment, warm and steady. "I'm here when you're ready," she says, then slips back into the crowd. Lila's left staring at her empty bottle. The jukebox now playing something softer, sadder. She's not fine. She's falling apart, and Maya's the only one who sees it. The next morning, Lila wakes to the screech of her alarm. Her apartment a mess of takeout boxes and half-finished sketches. The air smells faintly of last night's pizza, and her head throbs from too little sleep and too much beer. She drags herself to the mirror, her reflection pale, eyes shadowed. Get it together, Carter. But her mind's stuck on Maya, on that hand on hers, that soft "I'm here." It's like a song she can't stop humming, equal parts comfort and chaos. At the office, the post-pitch glow lingers. The team's buzzing, emails pinging with investor follow-ups. Lila's desk is a fortress of coffee cups and sticky notes, her monitor glowing with design tweaks. But her focus is shot. Every time Maya walks by, her heels clicking like a metronome, Lila's stomach lurches. She's not just her boss anymore. She's a question Lila can't answer. Around noon, Maya calls her into her office. The space is all glass and steel, a corner view of Manhattan's chaos below. Maya's behind her desk, her laptop open, but her eyes are on Lila, sharp and searching. "Close the door," she says, her tone calm but firm. Lila's heart skips, the click of the latch sounding like a gavel. "You've been off," Maya says, leaning back in her chair. Her blazer's unbuttoned, revealing a silk shirt that catches the light. "What's going on?" Lila shifts, her sneakers squeaking on the polished floor. The room smells of leather and Maya's perfume, that damn cardamom again. "Just a lot on my mind," she says, her voice barely above a whisper. Maya stands, circling the desk, her movements deliberate, like a dancer. "Lila, you're not just my designer. You're my friend. If something's wrong, I want to know." Friend. The word stings, though Lila doesn't know why. She wants to be more, doesn't she? Or is she just confused, projecting her mess onto Maya's clarity? She clenches her fists, nails digging into her palms. "It's not about work," she blurts, then regrets it instantly. Maya's brow lifts, curiosity flickering. "Okay. Then what?" Lila's mouth goes dry. The hum of the AC fills the silence, a low drone that matches her racing pulse. She could lie, brush it off, keep things professional. But Maya's standing so close, her warmth radiating, and Lila's tired of running. I can't stop thinking about you, she says, the words tumbling out like spilled paint. Her face burns and she stares at the floor, at a scuff mark shaped like a crescent moon. I don't know what it means, but it's driving me crazy. The silence stretches, heavy as the city smog outside. Then Maya laughs, not mocking but soft, like she's been waiting for this. Lila, she says, stepping closer. You think you're the only one overthinking this? Lila's head snaps up. Maya's eyes are warm, unguarded, a crack in her usual armor. What? Lila breathes, her voice barely audible over the distant honk of a cab. I've been trying not to scare you off, Maya admits, her fingers brushing the edge of her desk. You're different. I noticed it the first time you pitched a design, all nervous energy and raw talent. I didn't want to push, but yeah, I've thought about you too. Lila's world tilts. Maya, confident, untouchable Maya, has been thinking about her? The air feels thinner, like she's standing on the edge of a skyscraper. But you're you, she stammers. And I don't even know what I am. Maya's smile is gentle, but there's a fire behind it. You don't have to know right now. That's the beauty of it. You get to figure it out. The rest of the day is a blur. Lila floats through meetings, her mind replaying Maya's words like a loop track. By evening, they're alone in the office, the city lights twinkling through the windows. They're working late, tweaking the app's branding, but the air's charged, every glance a spark. Maya's sleeve brushes Lila's as they lean over a tablet, and Lila's skin tingles like she's touched a live wire. Let's grab dinner, Maya says suddenly, shutting her laptop. No work. Just us. Lila hesitates, her heart pounding like a drumline. Like a date. Maya grins, a little wicked. If you want it to be. They end up at a hole-in-the-wall diner, all vinyl booths and the clatter of plates. The air smells of grease and coffee, and the jukebox plays an old Joan Jett tune. Lila's nervous, her fork scraping her plate as she pushes fries around. Maya's relaxed, sipping a milkshake, her laughter filling the space between them. So, Maya says, leaning forward, tell me something real. Not work. Not designs. You. Lila swallows, the fries sticking in her throat. I grew up in Ohio. Small town, big dreams, you know? Moved here to be someone, but I'm still figuring out who that is. Maya listens, her eyes locked on Lila's, and for the first time Lila feels seen. Not as the designer, not as the rookie, but as herself, messy and unsure. She talks about her mom's old record collection, the way she used to draw comics in her bedroom, the fear of never being enough. Maya shares too, her Puerto Rican roots, her coming out at 20, the fight to be taken seriously in a tech world that tried to box her in. By the time they leave, the city's alive with neon and noise, and Lila's buzzing, not from the coffee but from Maya's hand brushing hers as they walk. This doesn't have to be anything you're not ready for, Maya says, her voice soft against the hum of traffic. Lila nods, but her heart's screaming something else. She's not ready, not yet, but she wants to be. The weeks blur into a rhythm of late nights and stolen glances. Lila's apartment feels smaller, her sketches wilder, as if her feelings for Maya are bleeding into her art. The city's pulse matches her own, restless, electric. Every morning she steps into the office, the hum of computers and coffee machines a backdrop to her nerves. Maya's there always, her presence like a beacon. A brush of shoulders in the hallway, a shared laugh over a bad client email. It's intoxicating and Lila's drowning. But doubt creeps in like damp rot. Lila's never dated a woman, never even considered it until Maya. Her small-town roots scream at her. This isn't you. Her old friends' voices echo, their casual jabs about going gay for attention. She lies awake at night, the city's distant sirens seeping through her window, wondering if she's just confused, if this is a phase. But then she remembers Maya's laugh, the way her fingers lingered on Lila's wrist during a meeting, and her chest aches with something too real to dismiss. At work, The app's launch is looming, and the pressure's crushing. Lila's designs are the heart of it, but she's unraveling. During a late-night brainstorm, Maya notices. There in the conference room, papers strewn across the table, the air thick with marker fumes and stale coffee. Maya's pacing, her sleeves rolled up, a streak of dry erase ink on her cheek. Lila's staring, her pencil tapping a frantic beat. "You're distracted," Maya says, stopping mid-stride. Her voice is gentle, but it cuts through the room's hum. Lila flinches, her pencil snapping in her hand. "I'm fine," she lies, but her voice cracks, raw and unsteady. Maya sits across from her, close enough that Lila can smell her perfume. Cardamom, always cardamom. "You're not. And I'm not letting you bullshit me anymore." Lila's eyes sting. She wants to run, to hide from the truth clawing at her. But Maya's gaze holds her, steady and unafraid. "I'm scared," Lila whispers, the words slipping out like a confession. "I don't know what this is. I don't know who I am." Maya's hand covers hers, warm and firm. "You don't have to have it all figured out. I didn't either, not at first. It's messy, Lila. It's supposed to be." The room feels smaller, the city's hum fading to a distant pulse. Lila's breath hitches, and before she can stop herself, she leans forward, her lips brushing Maya's. It's brief, tentative, like testing a flame. Maya freezes, then pulls back, her eyes wide but soft. "Lila," she says, her voice a low murmur. "Are you sure?" Lila's not sure of anything, but her body's screaming yes. She nods, her heart pounding like a subway train. Maya smiles, slow and warm, and leans in again. This time the kiss is deeper, realer, the taste of coffee and courage lingering. But the high doesn't last. The next day, Lila's a wreck. The office feels like a minefield. Every glance from a coworker a potential judgment. She overhears a snide comment in the break room. Lila's getting cozy with the boss, and her stomach twists. She's not out, not even to herself, and the weight of it crushes her. Maya senses the shift. During a lunch break on the rooftop, the air crisp with autumn, she corners Lila. "You're pulling away," she says, her voice steady but laced with hurt. The city sprawls below, a tangle of steel and ambition, and Lila wants to disappear into it. "I'm not, I just need time," Lila says, her hands stuffed in her hoodie. The wind carries the scent of burnt leaves, sharp and fleeting. Maya nods, but her eyes are guarded. "I get it. But don't shut me out, okay? I'm not going anywhere." The app launch creeps closer, and Lila throws herself into work, hoping it'll drown out her confusion. She stays late, tweaking fonts and color schemes until her eyes burn. Maya's there too, always, her presence both comfort and chaos. One night, they're alone in the office, the city glowing through the windows like a painting. Maya's at her desk, her hair loose, a rare vulnerability in her posture. "Lila," she says, not looking up, "what are you afraid of?" The question hits like a punch. Lila's fingers freeze on her keyboard, the clack of keys fading into silence. She wants to say she's afraid of everything, of being wrong, of being seen, of losing herself. But instead she says, "I don't want to mess this up. You, me, work, any of it." Maya stands, crossing the room in 3 strides. She kneels in front of Lila, her hands resting lightly on Lila's knees. "You're not messing anything up. You're allowed to feel this, to want this. Whatever it is." Lila's throat burns, tears prickling. She wants to believe Maya, to lean into this terrifying, beautiful thing. But the fear's still there, a shadow she can't shake. The app launch is a week away, and the office is a pressure cooker. Lila's days are a blur of mock-ups, meetings, and Maya's voice cutting through the chaos. Calm, commanding, a lighthouse in the storm. But every time their eyes meet, Lila's chest tightens, a mix of thrill and terror. That kiss in the conference room lingers like the aftertaste of whiskey, sharp and intoxicating. She wants more, but the weight of her uncertainty keeps her anchored. Outside work, Lila's unraveling. She calls her mom, hoping for clarity, but the conversation's a minefield. "You're just stressed, honey." her mom says, her voice crackling over the phone. Focus on your career. Don't complicate things. Lila hangs up, the dial tone echoing in her tiny apartment, and buries her face in a pillow that smells faintly of laundry detergent and regret. She tries to distract herself, sketching late into the night, her pencil scratching out bold lines and soft curves that look too much like Maya. The city's hum seeps through her window, distant horns and neighbors' muffled TV, and it's not enough to drown out her thoughts. She's falling for Maya hard, but the idea of claiming that truth feels like stepping off a cliff. At work, the tension's palpable. The team's on edge, the investors circling like hawks. Lila's designs are praised, but she feels like a fraud, her personal chaos bleeding into her work. During a late-night review, Maya catches her staring, and the air crackles. They're alone in the office, the hum of the city muted by glass. Maya's tie is loose, her sleeves rolled up, and Lila's heart stumbles. "You're killing it, you know," Maya says, her voice soft like she's sharing a secret. She's leaning against a desk, her fingers tapping a rhythm only she hears. Lila shrugs, her hoodie sleeve fraying where she's picked at it. Doesn't feel like it. The air smells of toner and coffee, grounding her in the moment. Maya steps closer, her boots soft on the carpet. "You're too hard on yourself. You're allowed to be human, Lila." The words hit deep and Lila's eyes burn. She wants to be human, messy, real, brave. She wants to tell Maya she's falling, that she's terrified but doesn't want to stop. Instead, she says, "I don't know how to do this." Maya's hand finds hers, a quiet anchor. "You don't have to do it alone." The moment's interrupted by a janitor's cart rattling in the hallway, and Lila pulls back, her pulse racing. She's not ready for the world to see this, whatever it is. Maya doesn't push, but her eyes hold a promise. "I'm not giving up." The next day, disaster strikes. A bug in the app's beta fries the user interface, and Lila's designs are caught in the crossfire. The team scrambles, the office a cacophony of keyboards and cursing. Lila's in the war room, her screen glowing with error logs, her stomach churning. Maya's there, sleeves rolled up, barking orders but never losing her cool. When she catches Lila's eye, she mouths, "We've got this." They don't. The bug's a nightmare, and the launch is delayed. The investors are livid, and the team's morale tanks. Lila feels like it's her fault, her designs, her oversight. She stays late, alone, the office dark except for her monitor's glow. The city's quiet now, just the hum of a distant train. She's crying before she realizes it, tears smudging her sketchpad. Maya finds her, of course. She's got a sixth sense for Lila's breaking points. "Hey," she says, crouching beside Lila's chair. Her hand rests on Lila's shoulder, warm through her hoodie. "This isn't on you." "It feels like it." Lila chokes out, her voice raw. The air smells of dust and despair, and she's tired of fighting it. Maya pulls her into a hug, and Lila lets herself sink into it, the scent of cardamom grounding her. "We'll fix it," Maya whispers. "Together." They work through the night, shoulder to shoulder, the city waking outside. By dawn they've patched the bug, but Lila's still a mess. As they step onto the rooftop for air, the sunrise painting the skyline gold, Maya turns to her. "You're stronger than you think," she says, her voice steady against the morning breeze. Lila wants to believe her, but the doubt's still there, a knot in her chest. She's falling for Maya, but she's also falling apart, and the clash is tearing her in two. The launch is rescheduled, but the damage is done. The office hums with tension, whispered gripes about Lila's bug, stinging like paper cuts. She knows it's not just her fault bugs happen, but the guilt clings like damp clothes. She avoids the break room, where the coffee machine hisses and coworkers' eyes linger too long. Maya's the only constant, her presence a lifeline, but even that feels fraught. Every touch, every smile, pulls Lila deeper into a truth she's not ready to face. She starts dodging Maya, keeping her head down, her earbuds blasting indie rock to drown out her thoughts. The city's autumn chill seeps into her bones, the scent of wet pavement and roasted chestnuts following her to work. Her sketches grow darker, jagged lines and muted colors, a mirror of her headspace. She's falling for Maya, but the fear of what it means, of being seen, labeled, judged, chokes her. One evening, Maya corners her in the copy room, the air thick with the hum of machines and the tang of ink. "You're avoiding me," Maya says, her voice low, hurt threading through it. She's in a sweater today, softer than her usual blazers, but her eyes are sharp. Lila's fingers fumble with a stack of prints, her heart thudding. "I'm not." She lies, but her voice wavers, betraying her. Maya steps closer, her boots scuffing the linoleum. "Lila, I'm not an idiot. Talk to me." The room feels too small, the fluorescent lights buzzing like a trapped fly. Lila's chest tightens, and the words spill before she can stop them. "I'm freaking out, okay? This me, it's too much. I don't know what I'm doing and everyone's watching, and I'm messing everything up." Maya's face softens, but she doesn't reach out. "You're not messing anything up. You're figuring it out. That's allowed." Lila shakes her head, her throat burning. "You don't get it. You're out, you're proud, you've got it all together. I'm a mess. I don't even know if I'm..." She stops, the word gay sticking like a stone. Maya's quiet for a moment, the hum of the copier filling the silence. Then she says, "I wasn't always this version of me. Took time. Pain. You don't have to have all the answers now." Lila wants to believe her, but the fear's a living thing, clawing at her insides. She mumbles an excuse and flees, the city's noise swallowing her as she steps outside. The air's sharp, smelling of rain and exhaust, and she walks aimlessly, her boots splashing through puddles. That night she dreams of Maya, her laugh, her touch, the way her eyes crinkle when she's teasing. She wakes with a start, her apartment dark, the city's pulse faint through her window. She's tired of running, but she doesn't know how to stop. The launch day arrives, a high-wire act of nerves and hope. The office is a circus. Cameras flashing, investors murmuring. The app's logo glowing on every screen. Lila's designs are front and center, sleek and bold, and the room erupts in applause when Maya unveils them. Lila's in the back, her heart pounding, her palms sweaty. Maya's speech is electric, her voice weaving a story of connection and ambition. But her eyes keep finding Lila's, a silent anchor. After, at the launch party, the mood's euphoric. The bar's packed, the air thick with whiskey and laughter, the jukebox blaring Prince. Lila's trying to blend in, her beer bottle cold against her palm, but Maya finds her as always. "You did it," Maya says, her smile bright against the dim lights. "We did it," Lila corrects, her voice soft. For a moment it's just them, the crowd fading to a hum. Maya leans closer, her breath warm. "Dance with me." Lila freezes, her pulse a drumline. The dance floor's crowded, eyes everywhere. But Maya's hand is outstretched, steady, and Lila takes it, her fear cracking like ice. They move together, awkward at first, then fluid, the music wrapping around them. Maya's hand rests on Lila's waist, and Lila feels alive, like she's finally breathing. But the moment shatters. A coworker's snicker cuts through the music, a whispered "knew it," that hits Lila like a slap. She pulls away, her face burning, and flees to the bathroom, the fluorescent lights harsh against her tears. She's not ready for this, for the world to see her, to judge her. Maya follows, of course. "Lila," she says through the door, her voice soft but firm. "You don't have to hide. Not from me." Lila's breath hitches, her hands gripping the sink. She wants to be brave, to be the woman Maya sees. But the fear's still there, a shadow she can't outrun. The launch's success should be a high, but Lila's sinking. The office is a maze of congratulations and champagne flutes. But the whispers follow her, co-workers' glances, their hushed theories about her and Maya. She feels exposed, like a sketch left out in the rain. Her apartment's no refuge either. It's just her, the hum of the fridge, and the ghost of Maya's touch. She avoids Maya's texts, her "you okay?" messages piling up like unanswered letters. Lila's mom calls again, her voice bright but probing. "You sound off, honey. Everything okay with work?" Lila lies, says it's just stress, But her mom's not fooled. Don't let anyone distract you from your dreams, she says, and Lila's stomach twists. Her mom doesn't know about Maya, about the kiss, about the way Lila's world is tilting. She hangs up, the city's distant rumble filling the silence, and curls into her couch, the fabric rough against her cheek. At work, she's a ghost, slipping through meetings with her head down, her earbuds a shield. Maya tries to reach her. Notes on her desk, a coffee left by her monitor, but Lila's walls are up. The air smells of toner and tension, and every time Maya's heels click closer, Lila's heart races, torn between want and fear. One evening, Maya catches her in the elevator, the doors closing with a soft thud. The space is tight, the air heavy with Maya's perfume. "Lila, enough," Maya says, her voice sharp but trembling. "You can't keep running from this." Lila stares at the floor, her sneakers scuffed and worn. "I'm not running," she mumbles, but the lie tastes bitter. Maya's hand grazes her arm and Lila flinches, the touch too much. "You're scared," Maya says, softer now. "I get it. But shutting me out? That's not fair. Not to you, not to me." Lila's eyes burn, the elevators hum a low drone. "I don't know how to do this," she whispers. "Everyone's talking, judging. I'm not like you." Maya's jaw tightens, but her voice stays steady. "You think I wasn't scared? Coming out, building this life, it wasn't easy. But I did it because I refused to hide. You don't have to be me, Lila. Just don't hide from yourself." The elevator dings, the doors opening to the lobbies buzz. Lila bolts, the city's chill hitting her like a slap. She walks, the pavement slick with rain, the scent of wet asphalt and street food heavy in the air. She's tired of fighting, tired of the fear that's been her shadow since Ohio. That night she calls her best friend, Sarah, who's back in their hometown. Sarah's voice is warm, familiar, like a worn quilt. Lila spills everything, the kiss, the fear. The way Maya's laugh makes her feel alive. Sarah listens, then says, "Lila, you've always been brave. You left home, chased your dreams. It's just another kind of brave." Lila cries, the phone hot against her ear. Sarah's right, but bravery feels like a foreign language. She wants Maya, wants the life they could have. But the world's eyes feel like a spotlight she can't escape. The next day she's back at work, her heart a tight knot. The office is quieter now, the launch's chaos fading. Maya's in a meeting, her voice carrying through the glass walls, and Lila watches, her sketchpad forgotten. Maya's confidence, her ease, it's everything Lila wants to be. During lunch, Lila finds a note on her desk, Maya's handwriting sharp and sure. "Rooftop. 6 p.m. Please." Lila's stomach flips, but she knows she can't run forever. At 6, the rooftops bathed in twilight, the city's lights flickering like stars. Maya's there, leaning against the railing, her silhouette soft against the skyline. The air smells of autumn, crisp and fleeting, and Lila's boots scuff the concrete as she approaches. "I'm sorry," Lila says, her voice barely above the wind's whisper. "I've been a mess." Maya turns, her eyes warm but guarded. "I don't need you to be perfect. I just need you to be real." Lila's throat tightens, the city's hum a distant pulse. She steps closer, her hand trembling as it finds Maya's. "I'm trying," she says, and for the first time it feels true. The rooftop moment shifts something in Lila. It's not a fix, not a clean resolution, but it's a crack in her walls letting light through. She and Maya don't define it, no labels, no promises, but there's an understanding, a quiet agreement to let this be whatever it is. They start small. Coffee runs, late-night takeout, moments stolen between deadlines. The city's pulse, its honks, its neon glow feels like a backdrop to their cautious dance. Lila's still scared, but Maya's patience is a tether, keeping her grounded. Work settles into a new rhythm. The app's a hit, downloads climbing, and Lila's designs are the talk of tech blogs. She should be soaring, but the whispers persist. Co-workers' glances, their murmured assumptions. She catches fragments. Maya's pet. Sleeping her way up. Each one's a needle, sharp and precise. Lila wants to scream that it's not like that, that her work stands on its own, But the doubt creeps in, mixing with her fear of being seen as something she's not ready to name. One evening they're at Maya's apartment, a sleek loft with floor-to-ceiling windows and the city sprawling below. The air smells of garlic and red wine, the remnants of their pasta dinner on the counter. Maya's barefoot, her usual armor traded for a soft sweater, and Lila's curled on the couch, her sketchpad idle. The TV hums with a low-budget rom-com, but neither's watching. "You're quiet," Maya says, sinking beside her. Her hand rests on Lila's knee, warm through her jeans. Lila sighs, the sound heavy in the quiet room. "I heard them again today. Talking. About us." Maya's jaw tightens, but her voice stays soft. "Let them talk. They don't know you. They don't know us." Lila wants to believe her, but the words stick. She sets her sketchpad down, her fingers tracing the worn edges. "It's not just them. It's me. I'm still figuring this out. What I am. What we are." Maya's hand stills, her eyes searching Lila's. "You don't have to figure it all out tonight. But I'm here, Lila. I'm all in." The words hit like a wave, warm and overwhelming. Lila leans into Maya, their foreheads touching, the city's hum fading to a whisper. They kiss, slow and deliberate, the taste of wine lingering. It's not an answer, but it's enough for now. But the world doesn't pause. At work, a new project looms, an expansion of the app, with tighter deadlines and bigger stakes. Lila's thrown into the deep end, leading a team of designers, her first time in charge. She's terrified, her imposter syndrome a constant hum. Maya's there, coaching her through it, but the line between boss and whatever they are blurs. Lila catches herself second-guessing every decision, wondering if Maya's praise is professional or personal. One night they're working late, the office dark except for their corner. The air smells of coffee and static, the hum of monitors a steady drone. Lila's presenting her team's mock-ups, her voice shaky but growing steadier. Maya's watching, her smile proud but restrained. When the others leave, Maya stays, leaning against the table. "You were amazing," she says, her voice low. "You're a natural leader." Lila's cheeks burn, but the doubt creeps in. Am I? Or are you just saying that because she trails off, gesturing vaguely between them? Maya's smile fades, her eyes narrowing. "Lila, don't do that. Your work speaks for itself. Always has." Lila nods, but the knot in her chest doesn't loosen. She wants to believe Maya, to trust her own talent, but the whispers, external and internal, are relentless. The next day, she's called into a meeting with HR. Her stomach drops, the sterile office smelling of paper and sanitizer. The rep's voice is clipped. "Concerns have been raised about favoritism. We need to ensure professional boundaries." Lila's face burns, her hands clenching in her lap. She wants to argue, to say her relationship with Maya hasn't crossed any lines, but the words stick. She leaves the meeting shaken, the city's noise outside a dull roar. That night, she goes to Maya's loft, her heart heavy. Maya's cooking, the sizzle of onions filling the air. But she stops when she sees Lila's face. "What's wrong?" Lila spills it. The HR meeting, the accusations, the fear that she's jeopard of a fraud. Maya listens, her face tight with anger, but she pulls Lila into a hug. "This isn't about you," she says, her voice fierce. "It's about them not understanding us." Lila clings to her, the city's lights blurring through her tears. She's not sure what's next, but Maya's arms feel like home. The HR meeting leaves a bruise on Lila's confidence, but Maya's resolve is steel. She calls a team meeting the next day, her voice sharp as she addresses the rumors head-on. "Lila's work stands on its own," she says, standing at the front of the conference room, her blazer crisp against the city's gray skyline. "If anyone has concerns, bring them to me. Not the rumor mill." The room's silent, the air heavy with the hum of the projector and the scent of stale coffee. Lila's in the back, her heart pounding, both mortified and grateful. After, Maya pulls her aside, her eyes fierce but soft. "I've got your back," she says, her hand squeezing Lila's. The touch is brief, professional, but it lingers like a spark. Lila nods, her throat tight, and throws herself back into work, determined to prove herself. The new project's a beast, but Lila rises to it. She leads her team with the quiet strength she didn't know she had. Her designs sharper, bolder. The office hums with deadlines, the clack of keyboards and the murmur of calls a constant backdrop. Maya's there, guiding but not hovering, her faith in Lila a steady pulse. They steal moments, lunch on the rooftop, a quick coffee run, but keep it professional, aware of the eyes on them. Lila's still grappling with herself. She spends nights Googling "Am I gay?" and reading forums, the glow of her laptop harsh against her apartment's darkness. The city's sounds, sirens, laughter, the clatter of a garbage truck, filter through her window, grounding her in her uncertainty. She's not ready for labels, but she's starting to accept the want, the pull toward Maya that feels like gravity. One weekend, Maya invites her to a queer art exhibit in Brooklyn. A low-key date that feels like a step forward. The gallery's alive with color, the air smelling of paint and wine. Lila's nervous, her boots scuffing the wood floor. But Maya's hand in hers is steady, her laugh bright as they critique abstract sculptures. For the first time, Lila feels like she belongs, not just with Maya but in this world, this possibility. But the fear doesn't vanish. At a team happy hour, a coworker's drunk comment. "So you two a thing now?" hits like a punch. Lila freezes, her beer bottle sweating in her hand. The jukeboxes twang mocking her. Maya laughs it off, her arm brushing Lila's, but the sting lingers. Back at her apartment, Lila cries, the cities hum a dull roar. She's tired of hiding, but she's terrified of being seen. She calls Sarah again, her voice shaky. "I want this, but I'm scared," she admits, the phone hot against her ear. Sarah's gentle, firm. "You're allowed to be scared, but you're also allowed to be happy." The words stick, a seed of courage. The next day, Lila finds Maya on the rooftop, the city bathed in dusk's purple glow. The air smells of rain and possibility, and Lila's heart races as she speaks. "I'm not ready to tell the world," she says, her voice steady despite the tremble in her hands. "But I'm ready to try. With you." Maya's smile is radiant, her eyes crinkling. She pulls Lila close, their lips meeting in a kiss that tastes of hope and home. The city hums below, its chaos a distant song, and Lila feels something shift. A weight lifting, a truth settling. Months later, the project's a success and Lila's promoted, her work undeniable. The whispers fade, drowned out by her confidence. She and Maya are careful but open. Their relationship a quiet truth they're building together. Lila's not fully out, not yet, but she's learning to live in the gray, to embrace the mess of becoming. One morning they're back on the rooftop, the sunrise painting the skyline gold. Lila's sketching, her pencil scratching softly, while Maya sips coffee, her laughter bright against the city's hum. "Your trouble, Carter," Maya teases, her hand brushing Lila's. Lila grins, her heart full. "Good trouble." She traces the bench's carved words. Love dares to defy the odds, and knows she's daring too. Not perfect, not certain, but brave enough